HGTV is lying to you, not on purpose, not maliciously, but for 25 years, they've shown you young couples in their 20s and 30s walking through 3,000 plus square foot homes with quartz countertops, shiplap, and reclaimed wood beams, and acting like that's what a first-time buyer's house actually looks like. It isn't. And some of the buyers that I meet today in their 20s and 30s are walking in to meet with me convinced that if they don't attain that type property, anything less is a failure. Many of them decide not to buy anything. They believe their only options is to buy the Instagram house they can't truly afford or nothing. That's the problem. Most first homes don't have quartz countertops. Many of them have laminate. They have carpet in the bedrooms. They have a kitchen from 1998 and a bathroom that needs paint. And in 5 to 7 years, that home becomes the down payment on your next home. The one that actually starts looking like the Pinterest board. That's how wealth gets built, not by skipping the starter home, by using it for leverage to get into your next. I'm Rebecca Williams with Lesley Kane Realty, and I'm a real estate expert in the greater East Texas area. I've sold well over 100 homes in the start of my 8th year as a real estate professional. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you why the platforms that made an unattainable home look normal are quietly costing first-time buyers their financial future, what an honest starter home looks like, and how the math of building real equity works when you stop trying to skip ahead. By the end of this video, you're going to understand why the version of this problem getting served to your phone right now is worse than HGTV ever was, and why almost nobody's talking about this yet. If you're new here, this is Living in East Texas, where I cover real estate, local towns and cities, and the parts of buying and selling real estate that most won't explain honestly. Subscribe if that's your kind of content. What the platforms don't tell you. Property Brothers, Fixer Upper, Love It or List It, $1 Million Listing, Flip or Flop. For 25 years, every single one of these shows has done the same thing. Shown people house hunting at price points and aesthetics that bear almost no resemblance to what real first-time buyers can afford. I love HGTV, don't get me wrong, but I've also been personally victimized by these shows. House hunters in particular. The couples on these shows are usually knee-deep into their careers, often with parental help, looking at homes wildly above what a normal first-time buyer would be looking at or can afford. But the framing on these shows makes it look normal. Like, this is exactly what house shopping looks like. Fixer Upper, beautiful, iconic. Also, the budgets shown are TV budgets. The renovations are TV renovations. And the homeowners often had financial situations that don't always translate to real first-time buyers and their budgets. The damage isn't malicious, it's just that an entire generation has consumed thousands of hours of content where the baseline expectation are things like shiplap, quartz, open concept, a primary suite, and at least 2,000 square feet in your first house. By the time someone in their late 20s has walked into my office, their eyes have been trained on what normal looks like since they were 10 years old, and it's not normal, it's television. And now more than ever, it's being fed to them in their algorithms through social media platforms. Social media made this 24/7. HGTV airs on a schedule. Instagram and TikTok run all day, every day, 365, ongoing, and that's right in your pocket. Renovation accounts, home design accounts, day in my new house content, algorithmically delivered to anyone who's ever even thought about buying a home. And the more you watch, of course, the more you get served. The problem: what gets engagement on social media is the aspirational house, the dramatic before and after, the all-white kitchen, the perfect light. What doesn't get engagement is the honest reality. Starter homes are usually small, dated, imperfect, and full of compromises. Nobody's posting their original 1990s linoleum floors. So the algorithm shows people a feed of homes that don't exist for them. And the feed never says, by the way, the people in this video have a combined income of 3 times of yours, and they bought in a completely different market. It just shows the house. The result: buyers walk into homes with a completely different reference point and disconnected from what their budget will actually buy. And when reality shows up, the smart, attainable house looks like a downgrade instead of a good starting point. The cost of believing this lie: buyer 1 sees the social media of what is considered normal and either A, stretches to their absolute maximum to chase it, ending up house poor and stuck, or B, gives up the idea of home ownership entirely because the gap between their budget and normal feels too big of a bridge. Both outcomes have the same root cause. Both outcomes also delay or destroy the entire wealth building cycle that homeownership has historically created for middle income families. Renting longer means more money out, no equity in, and watching home prices rise faster than savings. Stretching for the Instagram house means no margin for life, no money to invest anywhere, often no kids' college fund, often no retirement contributions, because their mortgage ate everything. The starter home isn't the compromise. Skipping it is. So that's HGTV. That's Instagram and TikTok. 25 plus years of one-way messaging. Then 10 years of algorithmically optimized aspiration. You'd think we have hit the ceiling on just how bad this can get. We haven't, because something just showed up in the last 18 months that makes all of that look honest. AI is now generating homes that don't exist. Listen again. AI is generating homes that don't even exist. There are accounts on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest right now serving up images of beautiful, perfect, luxurious homes. And the homes, y'all, are not real. The kitchens were never built. The couples in some of the photos and videos don't even exist. The renovation never happened. The before and after was a prompt typed into the AI large language model, and an image was generated. And buyers are scrolling past these fake generated homes hundreds of times a day without even knowing that they're looking at something that never actually existed. All created for views, to hold your attention, and for someone to make money. So now we have buyers whose mental reference point for what a home should look like are being shaped by HGTV, partly by aspirational influencers, and partly by AI generated homes that have no plumbing, no foundation, or actual rooms. Just an algorithm's guess of what the perfect kitchen should look like. The gap between normal and real has never been wider, and first-time buyers are the ones paying the price for the gap. Let me show you what a smart, honest, wealth-building first home actually looks like, and how to use it the way your grandparents actually used it. What an honest starter home actually looks like. Smaller. Most starter homes are between 1,200 to 1,800 square feet, even as small as 1,000, not 2,500, not 3,000. You don't need a primary suite the size of a regular studio apartment in order to live well. Older. This home is probably built in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and maybe even early 2000s. The bones are usually solid. Those houses were built when 2x4s were actually 2x4s. The aesthetics need updating. That's fine. Dated. The kitchen is probably outdated. The bathrooms may not have been touched in 20 years. The flooring is carpet or laminate. The paint colors are not what you'd pick. None of this is a problem. Less land. Maybe a 1/4 acre, or what we call a zero lot, which is less than that. You don't need 3 acres to start. You need a yard, a roof, and a mortgage payment you can afford, not brand new construction. New construction is the most expensive way to enter the market. Yes, even with builder incentive programs. A solid older home in an older established neighborhood almost always beats new construction in a marginal one. And here's the part the platforms never show. A slightly older home in a great neighborhood is the smartest starter home purchase you can make. The neighborhood appreciates. You build sweat equity slowly, and the next family loves it the way that you did. The wealth building math, this is the part to actually understand. Year 1, you buy a $250,000 starter home. Your mortgage payment is actually comfortable. You have a margin for life. Year 2 to 5, you make payments, you paint, you replace the worst looking thing every year. You live in the house. Year 5, your home has appreciated, probably anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000, depending on the market. You've paid down some principal and you now have equity. Year 7 to 10, life has changed. Maybe you have kids now. Maybe your income grew. You're ready for the next house, the move-up house that's closer to what you want long-term. You sell the starter home. That equity becomes the down payment. The move-up house feels comfortable because you didn't stretch yourself thin to get into it. Conversely, the Instagram house buyer in year 7 to 10, still in the same house, still paying it off, hasn't built meaningful equity in anything else because the mortgage ate it, hasn't moved up because they didn't start from the right place. That's the math. Skipping the starter doesn't make you smarter, it makes you stuck. How to protect yourself from the platforms. Spend less time on home content, Yes, seriously. Unfollow the accounts that makes you feel like your reality isn't enough. Honestly, I could create a whole new channel on my opinion of those things. When you do see a renovation video, ask yourself, who paid for this? What is the actual budget? What's the income level of the people in the video? Most of the time, the answer is way more than mine. Get comfortable with the idea that the best house is the one you'd want to update later, not one that's already updated. Updated homes cost a premium. Updates done by you builds equity. Tour actual homes in your price range. Not Zillow, not Instagram. Real homes with a real agent. Once you see them in person, the platform-shaped reference point starts to fade. And remember, almost every single person who's in a move-up home or their forever home almost certainly started somewhere similar. The smaller house isn't the destination, it's the bridge. I'd also be thrilled for you to check out my renovation loan video. It's one where I sat down and interviewed my lender friend. This is another great option for first-time buyers. So check that video out when you have time. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Owning a home is still one of the most reliable ways middle-income Americans have built wealth across generations. But the version of that wealth building that worked for your grandparents and your parents didn't include with them starting out in their late 20s in a 3,000 square foot home with quartz countertops. It included them buying something they could afford, living in it, building equity, and moving up when the time was right. That path still exists. Social media just stopped showing it to you. If you're a first-time buyer in East Texas, check out my other videos for my home buying educational series. And if you want to have a real conversation about what a real starter home looks like and where those starter home neighborhoods are located in East Texas and what type of home gives you the best foundation for your future, call me at 903-920-7413. I'll tell you what's real. I'll show you what's actually in your range. And I'm happy to help you find a home that you can grow from, not into. Your first home is supposed to be the beginning, the starting line, not the finish line. Platforms have flipped that whole thing upside down and convinced an entire generation that the finish line is the only acceptable starting point, and it isn't. The smart, slightly dated 1,400 square foot home in a great neighborhood is the smartest financial move most first-time buyers can ever make. Don't let HGTV, Instagram, or an AI-generated kitchen talk you out of this. Drop me a comment. Tell me what kind of house your parents or grandparents bought for their first home, and maybe what they ended up in. I'm betting the difference is bigger than you think. And subscribe. I'm constantly filming more contrarian takes on the parts of real estate that nobody else really explains straight to you. Once again, I'm Rebecca Williams with the Living in East Texas channel, and I video so you guys will know what it's like to live in beautiful East Texas. I thank you so much, you guys, for watching the video. Like, subscribe, follow, get the notifications, all the things really helps the algorithm, and I truly appreciate it. I really hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much.